Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to another episode of Life with Brian. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day out there. I am in my 2003 Acura NSX, my favorite car of all time, my GOAT, the car that I will be buried in. And this is just going to be my most recent love letter to this car. Hadn't driven the car in about definitely more than a month, maybe even close to 2 months, and picked it up from the garage. And of course, no issues, no warning lights, no nothing. Started right up. I've been driving a couple of times over the past 3 or 4 days, running errands, one fairly long trip, and it's just been rock solid, no issues. Just drives like the day I got it. I can't say brand new because I didn't have it brand new, but I've driven it now over definitely over 20,000 miles. Gosh, I've had it now probably close to 12 years. And it's been really fantastic ownership experience, other than the power steering module thing going out and that being back ordered and me having to wait a couple years to get that replaced. I just have literally had no issues with this car ever. And I just love this car. It's I did a video, for those of you who have a long time followers of the channel, I did a video a long time ago saying that I think this car is the greatest sports car of all time, which I honestly still believe that, in terms of attainability, reliability, even supercar vibe and looks. Yeah, performance, no, but reliability, you're not gonna, find me a supercar that can even sniff anywhere near this car. This car, I think, it's gonna certainly outlive me for sure, but just the way this thing was built, this engine, everything about it, it's just the interior, even the plastic parts, like nothing wears on this thing, nothing feels flimsy. My RX-7 is kind of somewhat falling apart at this time, but this car is just, it's amazing. It's held together so well. Attainability, like I said, how do you get a car like this, an icon, one of the greatest sports cars ever? It changed the landscape of supercars, made Ferrari and Lamborghini step up their game, their quality control, their reliability, because they saw that a Japanese manufacturer could make a supercar, legitimate supercar, reliable. And the car industry has never looked back from that moment. Now, of course, you still have the McLarens of the world, but I won't get into that. But it's just from every standpoint, from an enthusiast standpoint, from an important standpoint, from a just fun factor standpoint, a lay person. I had people every day come up to me. Yesterday, I was getting a haircut. I had a 5-minute conversation with a guy who was literally parked next to me, and when I came out, his windows rolled down. He had been waiting for me to come out so he could talk to me about the car, ask me about the car. People love this car. I love this car. If I have the rare instances which I see when I'm like double taking and rubbernecking, because I think this car looks fantastic, it looks modern, and again, back to my point of attainability, how are you going to get a supercar like this for the low 100s? Now, I haven't checked prices in probably a year, but I doubt they've changed that much. Now, I get it, if you get one like pristine condition, a garage queen, one that hasn't been driven like under 10,000 miles, okay, yeah, you might be paying like over 150 for that. But if you're paying, I'm pretty sure mine, I have 57,000 miles, mine's a 2003. I could easily, I'm pretty sure, get between 100 and 120 for this car in this condition. And for, examples that are rougher than this, obviously the first generation, the one with the pop-up headlights, I'm sure you get even, high 70s, 80s. So it's just amazing that you can get a car like this for that price point, considering, I did a video a while back as well, the Mark IV Super, which I have. I love my Mark IV Super, but I think that's grossly overpriced. The prices are, especially I got mine right after COVID, so I think I way overpaid for mine. But even last year when I was checking prices, Mark IVs were still going for mid 100s, high 100s for super low mileage Mark IVs, which is amazing to me compared to what you get in this Acura, the driving experience, the shifter, just the usability, the practicality, the reliability, everything about this car. I just wonder one day if the market's gonna wake up. People are gonna wake up like, wait, I can get an Acura NSX for 100 grand, 110 grand, and yeah, it's not a new car, but it's gonna drive like a new car, probably outlast my new car. And I'm not being funny about that. I'm sure those of you who own NSXs or who've had them can speak to this as well. I've 11 years plus of ownership, I've had no issues with my car. And I inherited this car with 30,000 miles, and I think the gentleman was a third owner. So, you know, I don't think my car is an outlier or an anomaly. You know, I think it's the rule, not the exception. So, yeah, it's just I'm really thinking that, or I have been thinking that this car is, I think, not only the greatest supercar ever made, but it's funny enough. I know many people will disagree with me, but you know, I don't care. It maybe the greatest car ever made. You know, I would say that with a straight face, because I mean, any car that you would put over this, like for example the F1, it's not attainable, right? Is it reliable? I don't know, but it's not attainable from a price standpoint, from a maintenance standpoint. For 99% of the people in the world, you can't even access the car. So even people who are telling me the F1 or the Carrera GT, same thing. Attainability. How many of those are out there? How many people can afford it? How many people can maintain it? Yeah, if you're Doug DeMuro, okay, yeah, you can go grab one when you get the funds, but most people can't do that. The F1, I mean, you think of all these icons, you know, again, they were fantastic cars. Mercedes Gullwing, right? Fantastic car, beautiful car, but how many people can access it, purchase it, and even like maintain it, you know? So it's like these cars that are out there that are options, but they're not options because they don't really exist in the real world, if that makes sense, you know? They don't exist in the real world for most people, whereas this NSX exists in the world for most people. You can go on Auto Trader or Cars.com, and you know, if you have 100 grand or even 80 grand, you can pick up one of these, and it's amazing. And I really think that, you know, what, give me the Ford GT, which I think is a fantastic car. I have one, it's beautiful. For, you know, being an homage to the GT40, the stick shift, the looks, amazing. One of the most beautiful cars ever designed. Of course, it's an homage to a car that already existed, but I still would not put it, I don't think it holds a candle to this car. Even from an attainability standpoint, you're paying $250 and above for those cars. Reliability, I haven't had issues with mine. I don't drive it that much though. This car, you know, I don't know, guys. Any car I can honestly think of where especially an enthusiast would say, no, that's stupid. Car blank is, if you're going with the greatest car of all time, you got to go with blank. Okay, but what car is that? Because every car, the Carrera GT, F1, the McLaren, you know, I'm trying to think of anything else that would, the Lamborghini Miura, beautiful car, right? But again, attainability, accessibility, maintenance, you can't even get one. You know, any of the you know, the what do you call it, the Mount Everest, the icons of Ferrari, right? Any of those, can you actually get one? That's the problem. So yeah, I think this is the greatest car ever made because it's fantastic, it's reliable, and more than anything, more than any of those cars that you can think of, it's actually accessible, it's attainable. And because of that, because I'm still driving the wheels off mine, and I've had no issues, knock on wood, I really think the Acura NSX is the greatest car of all time. The greatest sports car and the greatest car of all time. And I would really love for you guys to give me an idea or give me some alternatives for another car which you would say, no, this car is the greatest car of all time. Because I really think, I mean, I'm sure people will disagree with me and say, okay, well, to be the greatest car of all time, you know, it doesn't have to be accessible, right? Because you could say, you know, whatever, the greatest, I've recently gotten into kind of watch collecting, right? So the greatest watch of all time, the greatest Van Gogh of all time, the greatest baseball card of all time, I don't know. It's not attainable. Okay, that's fair. That's a fair and valid point. But I think maybe just for cars, again, as you guys know, I've never been one to believe in that whole thing like garage queens. You buy cars to look at them and keep them behind glass. I'm like kind of Jay Leno school of thought. Like you drive your cars, you use your cars. It's a complete waste of money and time to get a car that you don't drive. So I feel that like this is saying that a car is the greatest of all time, yet you can't drive it or you can't even access it, even if you wanted to. Like you can only look at it in papers or posters or movies or videos. To me, I don't know. And there's another probably almost equally fantastic great car that you can actually use and access and purchase and experience. I don't know, to me, it's just hands down this car. But of course, I'm biased, so let me know what you guys think. How you guys feel about the NSX. Do you think it's the greatest car of all time? I think it is. So let me know your thoughts and opinions. Hope you guys liked the video. Give it a thumbs up, comment below, like, subscribe. Please support the channel. Hope to catch you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.